Oh, no, no, no. Fuck you.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Roads here, Suck, and I'm going to do everybody a favor. Tutorial first, life story later. I want to change out one light bulb in this thing and the light bulbs in the clock, because the light bulbs in the clock went out, alright? First we have to start off with prying off this center bezel, or fascia if you want to call it. And the best or easiest way to do this is to grab a flathead screwdriver that you could use just about any prying tool. And you have to be careful not to damage any of these parts. I don't know if you can see this, but this is kind of squishy. It's not like a hard plastic. It's like a synthetic rubber or leather skin or something. So being careful not to scrape with the screwdriver on that thing. What you got to do is you got to get in there and you have to pop off the heated seats slash ashtray compartment here. Just kind of move that out of the way. Takes a little bit of finessing, but that's kind of out of the way. And then you just kind of grab your screwdriver or prying tool and you just kind of work your way around the center bezel here. Doing so gently, of course. So just try not to force anything, just work your way around this whole thing, gently prying as you need to. Pry, pry, pry. Ta-da, and it's off, right? Now, I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to put it up there so that you guys can get a better view. As far as camera angle goes, this is a very weird setup, but it's hard for me to see what the camera sees, but I'm going to try my best here. I hope you guys will be able to see that, but this is the back of the clock, right? Ordinarily, I'd recommend that you remove the cables connecting to the car battery before proceeding, but this isn't like mission critical stuff, so I don't really care too much. But you just kind of, it's hard to see from here, from where I'm sitting, so you kind of have to feel for it. But there's like a little push connector here. You go from the underside and you just sort of push down on it and pull it out like so. There should be, I believe, one or two more, possibly just one more down here somewhere. Where is it? Ah, there we go. And then there's going to be about two more cables down here where the temperature control unit is. But these are really easy to take off in comparison to the clock one. There's one. There's two. And the center fascia slash bezel thing comes off. So to recap, you undo this connector and this connector for the clock, and then you undo this connector and this connector for the temperature control unit, and you end up with the center fascia bezel thing taken off. And be careful not to flex it too much, because this is a plasticky part. But let's go ahead and take this inside so we can work on it. We'll be replacing one of the light bulbs in these, and this is a little bit more complicated. So let's get to work. First thing you will need is like a 4 or 8 millimeter socket. You can use pliers to grab this off, but I'd rather just use a small socket. Fortunately, these are not on that tight, so you can just put a socket in there and turn it by hand, I think. But let me grab one of those and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is in fact a 4mm, there we go, 4mm socket, right? So righty tighty, lefty loosey. Remember, you don't have to make these things crazy tight, but if you were to do that, honestly, just any simple tool, in theory, should be able to help you get it out. Go. That's screw slash bolt number 1. I'm just gonna put it off to the side here so you don't lose it. Now I'm only going to be replacing one of these light bulbs, and that's because I've replaced most of them already in the past. This is like a bit of a redo video. Now, since there is a redo video, what I recommend doing is that if you ever need to go in here to replace one light bulb, I also recommend that you just go in there and replace all the other ones as well. Now, when you're taking these little pieces things out, you have to remember not to be too rough, because all of these components are plastic. There we go. And you don't want to break plastic. This is what it looks like. Now, grab a flathead screwdriver and try and undo these tabs that are all around this here climate control module, okay? Fortunately, this is not too difficult. You just stick the screwdriver in there. In some places you might have to do it semi-roughly, I guess. But the general idea still stands. Just get in there and pop these tabs. There you go. This is the back. Just gonna put that aside. For the life of me, I can't remember. Oh yeah, okay. So when these knobs are all in the leftmost position, you can just simply pull them off. They have to be in the leftmost position because they have like a little bit of a recessed tab thing here, see? So just kind of yank off these knobs one by one. There we go. Now I do want to change just the light bulb that's in this general area. So we take this circuit, pull it out gently, and let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so let's remove this light bulb. The way to do that is you just take a pair of pliers, you grab the side here, and you just kind of work it loose like so. Yep, there you go. You can remove all the soldering here, but I'd rather just keep it there. Sit it down. All right. Let me move the camera down so that everybody can see what I'm doing. It's hard working with a camera in your face, please bear with me. But what we're going to do now is, first off, I'm going to put this circuit aside so I don't get any metal shavings in there. And I'm just going to make myself a new light bulb or whatever. So first we're going to straighten these, I guess they're called leads. Straighten them out. And once you do that, you can pull the light bulb itself off from the base, like so. Then you remove the blue condom off the light bulb, I guess you could call it that. And this part's a little bit tricky. You have to be careful to try and not damage it, but they're stuck on there pretty damn good. So just kind of work your way around this thing, remove the little condom thing. There we go. Yeah, you can tell that this burnt out. In any case, these are 5mm grain of wheat bulbs. Focus camera. 5mm grain of wheat bulbs. You can get these off of eBay, like a pack of 50 or something for $5 or something, I don't know. But in any case, this is going to be garbage. I have some leftover grain of wheat bulbs from last time, so let me just fish one of those out real quick. There we go. Here's a brand new one. Focus camera. There we go. Brand new bulb. Now we're just going to take this, straighten out the leads a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this blue cover and we're going to slip it onto the bulb. To remember, it's a little bit of a snug fit, so you kind of have to, sometimes they go on like easy like that, sometimes you gotta wrestle it around a little bit, but that's the general idea. Slide that on there and boom, you have a new light bulb, kind of. The next order of business is going to be to take this cable, or this lead, I guess, and you're gonna have to wrap it around like how it was originally. It might be best to use a set of pliers here. So first I'm just going to do this with my fingers to get the general shape of it. And then I'm going to get these needle nose pliers and I'm just going to kind of tuck this, like kind of, what's the word for it, crimp it? I guess just sort of crimp it like that. And just trim it like, I don't know, there. That would be one. That would be two. Correct it as needed. Now here comes the fun part. The way this works is that they are like surface mounted onto the circuit. So you can't just like put the light bulbs through the circuit and solder it from the other side or anything, no. You have to take this bulb, you have to kind of line it up, I guess, and then you kind of have to melt the solder around it. And then the solder will melt, the wire will sink into it. It's a little bit weird. Let me put the camera down some more so that you can see what I'm doing. It takes a little bit of finessing, but once you get it on there in a solid way, it's done. So now we have to assemble everything back together again and slid everything back on like so. Make sure everything lines up the way it needs to, yes. gently now, do not force anything. There we go. And now once all the pins are lined up in here, you just kind of work your hands around it and close it back into place. This is plugged in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is plugged in, plugged in, plugged in, plugged in. Okay, it's all plugged in now. You can go ahead and put the knobs back in. Again, you might require just a little bit of finessing. There we go. Okay, that's all in there, and now we just have to reattach it to the center bezel fascia thing. Bring it back here, drop it down. Oh, be careful not to place this upside down, though I don't think you can, but never hurts to be sure. Okay. Should tighten it just a little bit more. Not too much though, because the last thing you want to do is damage these things. But I'll turn like that. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. So we've changed this light bulb, we've changed these light bulbs. Now it's time to go ahead and put it back in the car. Observe. Just kind of tuck this in there. And we just take this pluggy thing. There you go. This pluggy thing. Come on. This has to be done by feel, sort of. I apologize for the wonderful view of my armpit that you guys are probably getting. That appears to be in. Good. Now, sometimes it's actually easier to do this from the passenger side because this way you don't have the steering wheel in your face. But I've done this enough that I don't really care. Let's see, this goes, where does this go? This goes down here. This goes here. Okay, verify that all the connectors are in fact connected. They are. Now you just take this, watch the AC vents, make sure they just kind of slide nicely into place. Fun part. Squeeze around a little bit, make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be. Why did I do that? I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm surprised that's even live, but that's in there. Ashtray / cigarette lighter / seat warmers are back in there. Again, go around, verify everything is in place as it needs to be. Do this. Now I'm just going to take the car keys. I'm going to start the vehicle. And this is just going to be to verify. Let me hide this because it's going to be bugging me all day now. Okay, verify that all of this stuff still works. There we go. All of that is good. That works. That works. The radio, obviously, I haven't touched it, so that'll work. All the lights work just fine, except this part has a yellowish tinge to it. What I'm thinking happened there is maybe it's just dirty and I need to wipe it down. So when I change the clock lights, I'm just going to get in there and wipe it down as well. But the tutorial here still stands true. This is how you change the lights in the temperature control module. And that's how you take off the center bezel and everything, and so on. That would be that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please slam that subscribe button for me, and see you around.